What's up, everybody, and welcome into the Liquid Trucking Podcast. What's good out there, Liquid Trucking? Great to have you here today. Joining, of course, your host, Marcus, and your co-host, Amanda. Thank you so much for being here today. Don't forget, podcast.liquidtrucking.com is the website. We want you to go over there and check out all of the episodes. Make sure you're listening to all of them. Go all the way back to the very beginning. There's hundreds at this point in time, and we're keeping the flow going, Amanda. We're pumping them out. I'm having trouble in this intro. Like, I feel like I forgot how to talk right before we came on. So I don't know what's going on, but I just had a really weird thing where I tried to say something and it came out completely backwards, and that's why the intro sounded weird. Did that sound weird to you?
I think it's okay. I think you're just really excited thinking about summer vacation, right? Like end of the school year. Think about back when we were still in school and we knew, 2 days left of the school year, we're about to be on summer break. Whether you went somewhere or not, it was just different because summertime was here. It's light longer, it's warm outside, there's more things going on. And, like I said, whether you're taking a staycation or a vacation, summertime is something to get flustered for.
Yeah, it really is. It's funny that you bring up the feeling of summer break. At my school in Enterprise, Oregon, from the time I was in kindergarten all the way through, I never had more than a half day of school on Fridays. And in high school, we actually stopped going 5 days and we started only doing Monday through Thursday, and there was no school on Fridays. And really cool when you think about like, hey, less school. You know what's really uncool about it? You start earlier than everybody else when you only go 4 days a week, and you don't get off until everybody's already about 2 weeks into their summer. So all of the neighboring kids from the neighboring towns one of the neighboring towns is 6 miles away, the other one's less than 20. So these kids, you're hanging out with them. They're all they're midsummer by the time that we would get out of school in Enterprise. And so that feeling that you're talking about was always juxtaposed for me with the bastards that got off 2 weeks before me, and how do they feel right now?
What else? I would have been driving past their school every Friday, bumping, beeping the horn. What are you talking about?
Well, I was the kid still in school, though. I wanted to be driving the car bumping bass. But,
Fridays when you didn't have school and they did.
Yeah. Good point.
I'm telling you. I always find that the happy side.
Do you want to know why the whole thing behind only a half day of school for my little mountain town where I grew up is because, all athletic events are on Friday, right? Football games are on Friday. Wrestling tournaments will be Friday and Saturday. Basketball games typically play Friday and Saturday. They had to travel so far that kids were just missing school.
Oh my God,
and
yeah.
Absences were piling up, and there's state laws around how many absences you can have, whether they're excused or unexcused. And so finally the school district just said, screw it. We're just going to let everybody out at noon on Friday, and that'll give everybody plenty of time to get where they need to go. And so it's like it was a function of being so far removed from all the places that we had to go to compete in sports that they just gave up half a day and eventually a full day of school a week at my high school. Really weird kind of podunk town stuff there.
I was going to say your school system must have pumped out a bunch of professional athletes if they were prioritizing the athletic programs over the academic.
Yeah. No, there's another thing about my town. We also used to get a week off for deer season and a week off for elk season.
What?
Yeah, and that's not because of anything other than if we don't give them this week off, they're going to take it, and we're going to have basically an empty school and a bunch of unexcused absences. So it's like if you don't want Marcus to stick around until he's 26 to graduate, you better figure out what's going on with the Friday absences, okay? Because whether I'm doing the sports or I'm just not here, Friday is not high on my priority list as far as getting to places. So I don't know, but I digress. Again, this is a rabbit hole, and today's going to be a little bit of a rabbit hole episode, so I hope you're ready for it because, as Amanda mentioned, we are talking about how I spent my summer vacation. And we've talked a lot about, I went to Vegas this year during the World Cup. We had a lot of fun over there, but we've talked a lot about that on this podcast. So we're going to bring some drivers in here and hear about their vacations that they took over the summer or lack thereof. And we're also going to hear a little bit about what Amanda got into. But this like most of them lately, it went long. So we got to get out of the way so we can still try to fit it at least within what kind of resembles an hour here for you today. So without further ado, let's get our drivers in here and learn about what they did on their summer vacations.
Welcome to the gold standard of podcasts for the gold standard of drivers. This is the Liquid Trucking Podcast with your host, Marcus Bridges.
All right, welcome back in here to the Liquid Trucking Podcast. We're going to get a couple drivers in here in just a moment. But Amanda, I feel like these last couple of weeks been kind of fun, a little bit of a show and tell vibe. I know that we talked last week about how you did not get the joy of having show and tell when you were a young kid. But this topic for today, how I spent my summer vacation, is also a show and tell topic that we used to have when I was a kid. That first or second week back, you know, second grade, third grade, maybe kindergarten, that was always one of the things that you had to go up and stand in front of class and talk about. And that's the whole point of the episode today. And I'm very excited to get our drivers in here and hear about how they've been spending their time off this summer.
Definitely, especially people that see every nook and cranny of this country. I want to know where they're choosing to spend their off time.
Yeah, it's one of them has a pretty unique answer that I think would make a lot of sense after driving around this entire country as much as these guys have. I'll tell you that much right now. But let's just get them in here because we've got two drivers on the line right now, and one of them has joined us for an episode like this that we've done before and talked about a really cool vacation that he took. He's back here. Please welcome back to the show, Uncle Traveling Matt McKellar. Matt, it's always good to have you, man. It's been a while since we've had you on. Thanks for being back.
Yeah, thanks. It's good to be here. Appreciate you having me.
Always good to have you. And also joining the show, another guy that we hear from pretty frequently. It's Michael Donut Duncan. Donut, always good to have you, my friend. Welcome back in.
Thank you. I'm on here so much. Might need to start putting me on the payroll.
Is there a payroll?
Yeah, I was going to say, can Amanda and I get on the payroll first, and then we can worry about co-hosts? I'm all joking aside. There is a payroll for this. This is the best job in the world. I think Amanda and I will both agree in telling you that. I'm recording this, and I think that I'm 34 steps from my Tempur-Pedic mattress. If I wanted to be asleep 5 minutes after this got over, I could do it. And that is something that I know I just made a lot of drivers mad letting them know, because you guys work close to your beds too, but you can't just roll over and go to sleep whenever you want to, right?
We could, but it wouldn't turn out too well.
Probably not. Probably
there
not.
You go.
You gotta get those autopilot trucks first.
Yeah, right. Let's get some technological advancement in here. Well, fellas, again, appreciate you joining us. I don't want to go first. I don't even want to go second because we've talked a little bit, actually probably too much, about my vacation that I took this summer. So I'm going to talk about some stuff that I've got upcoming maybe towards the end of the summer that I'm really excited about. But I want to turn it over to you guys first. And I call you Uncle Traveling Matt for a reason, Matt McKellar. Let's start out with you, man. I know that you were on one because I've already seen the pictures on Facebook. Tell us about where you went.
Yeah, late May into early June, I got to spend 2 weeks in Ireland with my girlfriend. And so, to answer that question about Amanda's question about where people that drive all around the U.S. go on vacation, I go out of the country. Yep. And I drove about 1,500 miles in Ireland. So,
That's awesome.
I like to go to weird places and go driving elsewhere,
Okay. Now, were they counting it in kilometers over there? Was the exchange rate a little bit weird to try to figure out how many miles you had gone?
Yes. It was in kilometers, and it was like 2,200 kilometers or something. So I had to do the math and figure out it was like 1,500 miles.
Hey, I'm guessing you're Irish. My family, we would say you're a Mick, not a Mac. So do you have, lineage there? Do you have family that's from there?
Actually, the other way around. I'm a Mac, not a Mick.
No way.
Yeah, Matt Keller. So
okay.
I went to Scotland 2 years ago, which is the motherland for me. And so no connection to Ireland other than they think that Celtic people were first in Ireland before they were in Scotland anyway. So I guess there is some connection in deep, dark history.
Yeah, for sure. And now, has it really been 2 years since you went to Scotland? That's wild.
Yeah, I went to Scotland 2 years ago, and then last year, 2025, I was in Spain because my daughter was studying abroad for a semester. So we went out and hung out with her for a while. And then, yeah, this year is Ireland.
And Amanda, I don't know if you watched Fraggle Rock growing up like
Oh,
I
God,
did,
yeah.
but isn't Uncle Traveling Matt just the best nickname for him because of his travels? Like, he's literally all over the place all the time, and I love it because, Matt, you've sent us a ton of awesome pictures, I believe, of your Scotland trip and maybe even your trip to Spain. But you take some amazing shots out there, and you're really a guy that knows how to set up a really good, memorable picture. Like, a lot of the pictures I take on vacation, I never go back and look at because I'm kind of a shitty photographer, but you've got your stuff together, dude.
Well, thank you. I've tried to learn a few principles. My daughter studied some photography, and I've purloined some ideas from her. And so the idea of digital photography, you can take a bunch of good pictures or take a bunch of pictures and delete all the crappy ones and
That's
just keep
right.
the good ones. Yeah.
Yep, there you go. I should just delete my whole camera roll in that sense, but talk to me about it, man. To not only get to Ireland, but to drive 1,500 miles, you saw quite a bit of that country, if not every nook and cranny, I would assume.
Yeah, there's still more to see for a relatively small island. But yeah, we flew into Dublin, and we basically had 3 days in Dublin to see some things there, including toured the Guinness storehouse where they make all the Guinness. So I had to do that, and then got the rental car and basically drove around most of the island, kind of following the shore in a clockwise fashion. And including at the end, we were in Northern Ireland and saw some things there. So yeah, the most amazing thing about the driving, I was joking after the trip that I got to go back to work so I can relax with driving my tanker because, I just had this tiny little rental car, but the roads there are super narrow and windy, which I've also encountered in Scotland and in New Zealand to some degree. But the difference here is Ireland's actually very lush and green, as people tend to know. And so what that means is you're on this twisty, turny little cowpath road, as I call them, but it's overgrown with, vegetation on either side of the road. So you can't see around the next corner to know if there's another vehicle coming head on at you until you're mostly around that corner. So, or maybe there's a sheep in the road, which happened a number of times as well. You come around this corner. So it definitely makes for exciting driving.
I love that. That's bucket list for me, definitely Ireland. And I'll tell you, Uncle Traveling Matt, I thought I was almost 100% Irish for most of my life. And then I found like a family history that a great uncle wrote. And I actually found out that I have a large part of me that is Scottish. So I'm a Mac and a Mick. But the Irish side, we always watched this John Wayne movie every year for St. Patrick's Day called The Quiet Man. And it was like one of the first movies ever filmed on location. It was filmed in Ireland. And there's this town in Ireland that they say like 100% of the tourism money comes because people just want to see where that was filmed. I would be on every back road possible just to check out the pub from that movie alone. The other thing is, do you know that that's where the idea for the Foo Fighters came from, was Ireland?
Oh, really? I did not know that.
I didn't know that either.
Some guy from Ireland was drunk one night and he was walking down a side road and he was wearing a shirt that had Kurt Cobain's picture on it, and the car that pulled over to pick him up happened to have Dave Grohl in it. And so he took it as a sign that he needed to get back to music, and then he started the band right after that. You guys can Google it when you're not driving. It's true story. True story.
Interesting stuff there. Never know where you're going to find Dave Grohl on an Irish back road.
You see what I'm saying? You didn't find Dave Grohl, did you, Matt?
I was too busy dodging sheep. I probably missed them.
Yeah, you did. Now, I got to ask you, the driving there, you touched on it a little bit, that your instincts are a little dulled because of, A, you're in a very small vehicle, windy roads that you don't recognize, can't see. How does the safe driver that you are for Liquid Trucking handle that? Because that could be pretty nerve-wracking, I would think. Was it you just kind of slow down and just enjoy the leisurely pace? Or were you freaking out the entire time you were behind the wheel? Because 1,500 miles is a lot of miles to be freaking out for.
Right. No, my disposition isn't really to freak out. You just drive slow and be cautious and kind of try to keep in mind where your out is. And I think the locals who go on these twisty-turny roads way faster than I would ever think safe, but they also know to watch out for us clueless tourists, so
Sure.
that helps too.
In Ireland, are you driving on the other side of the road?
It is. Yep. You're driving on the left side of the road, so got to reverse that. So I've done that before in Scotland and in New Zealand. So it takes about half a day to kind of click it in your mind, but you do get used to it. The tricky thing too is like the roundabouts, and they have like multiple lane roundabouts, and of course the roundabouts go clockwise, not counterclockwise. So you definitely have to do some thinking about, okay, how do I enter this? How do I get out of here? You got to kind of get your mind right.
Have you ever found yourself just driving down the wrong lane? Because that's where I would be, I think, right? Like you said, a half a day. The last half hour before the half day is me driving on the wrong side of the road, I feel like, Matt.
Well, see, that's where it helped that there were so many one-lane roads,
Okay.
two directions of traffic, but one lane. So, you can't be on the wrong side of the road because there's only one place to be.
That's
there might
good.
be somebody coming at you, but you're not in the wrong lane.
Well, that somebody would be me. I still, once again, I see all of the, now, is the gas pedal and the brake on the same foot, or do you have to switch feet as well as the side that you're driving on?
Yeah, the pedals are in the same location, which is good.
Thank God.
So the only difference is, the shifter is on your left-hand side. And actually, in Ireland, a lot of the cars are manual transmission, which I actually opted to get an automatic. I just thought it was maybe one too many things to manage. I did that in New Zealand where I had to shift, so the clutch is on your left, but you're shifting with your left hand. And it gets a little complicated.
Yeah, it does. I mean, shifting, I grew up with a manual transmission, and shifting is just something that is so natural to me on the right. It's so many things that I do, all the ball sports that I've played, baseball, batting with my right hand, all of it. Like I do drumming is all right hand led. I would not be able to shift a manual with my left,
weird.
Amanda.
It's weird. And I've done it one time. Somebody had like a mini truck tricked out to look like a semi, and it was a stick shift with the driver's side on the right side, and it does come surprisingly natural. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe I'm a little ambidextrous. I don't know, but yeah,
you can read people's minds.
Yeah, dude. You got him wheezing.
I had to. It was, you served it up for me.
But
little
to be
Zoolander
fair,
reference.
Like I did not leave a parking lot. So, I mean, I don't know that I could do it out on road. I took this thing around in a parking lot that was pretty empty. But yeah, I mean, I think once you add in having to also drive on the opposite side of the road, I don't know. The roundabout would screw me up. As soon as you said roundabout going the opposite direction, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm done. Never mind. Taking it off the bucket list. We're going to go somewhere tropical instead and be on a boat.
What happened in my mind when Matt said that the roundabouts go clockwise, it was just like I couldn't even visualize it because I'm sitting there thinking like, well, ours go clockwise. No, they don't. They go counterclockwise. Well, how on earth would it even? Oh, I'd drive on the wrong side of the road and I would get in an accident. That's what would happen to me in an Irish roundabout. What was your favorite part of the whole trip, Matt? We haven't even touched on that yet, or your favorite parts. I know sometimes when you go and cover as much ground as you did, you might end up with a few different favorites that you saw when you were over there.
Yeah, I'll just mention three things really quick. Like one, Dublin was a very cool city and had a lot of fun there. Saw the Book of Kells, for instance, ancient illuminated manuscript of the Bible. Just some cool artwork and history. Wow. And then in Northern Ireland, we saw the Giant's Causeway, which is this beautiful formation of like basically volcanic shafts of basalt that are shaped in a hexagonal form, and they're just very interesting looking. But perhaps my favorite was one day we drove around, it's called the Beara Peninsula, which is not a very well-known peninsula. There's some other peninsulas that people tend to do, like the Ring of Kerry and all of that. But way back there was a stone circle, and we drove down again this little cow path and parked in this tiny little gravel spot, and you had to climb over a few cattle fences, to get over the cattle line and kind of walk through this bog and this marsh. And then back there was a stone circle, and there was nobody else around, just a few cows looking on, and just got to see this, formation that's thousands of years old. And we were just standing out there kind of in the mountains, just watching that and having it all to ourselves. So that was pretty cool.
What a cool experience, man. It's, there's only so many times in your life that you're going to end up in that situation where not only do you get to such an amazing location, but you get out there when nobody else is there. That's, especially in a place where, hey, people know about this stuff. It is some, bit of tourist attraction for it. On our honeymoon, we were out in Maui and we were driving the Hana Highway around the backside of the island to go to Hana. And my uncle had this like 20-year-old audio tape guide that we were listening to. And it told us about this little waterfall that was back in there. And we later found out that it's not the safest hike to get back in there. And so all of the new guides don't really tell people about this spot. But my wife and I walked all the way up this really kind of steep hill in the gravel. We walked back into the jungle, I don't know, probably 3/4 of a mile, starting to feel like maybe we went the wrong direction and maybe we're in a horror movie right now. I didn't feel safe at all, but all of a sudden the jungle opened up and there was this massive chasm that went down 200 feet. And then off about 100 feet behind that was a 200-foot waterfall that went into this nice pond that was super shallow and super calm. And then the other waterfall that just disappeared into this chasm in the ground. And we were the only two people there. And it was I'm looking at something that was created by this earth that I can't even explain the scale of. And I was I don't care. We need to stay here for a while. This is the only place we're going to get in Hawaii where we're not totally surrounded by people. And she went swimming. I hung out and did some recreation on my own outside there in the next to the waterfall, if you know what I mean. No reason to dig any deeper to that, but fantastic location, Matt. And you just made me think about that awesome memory that I have by describing your awesome memory that you got to make, because again, how many times in your life are you going to get to see something like that and have nobody else there?
Yeah, that was pretty amazing. That's a great story. And yeah, we knew about that place because of the place where we were staying. A local kind of recommended that place. And so, yeah, where we were staying then was actually an Airbnb on a sheep farm. And we stayed in what they call a sheep hut, which was a little outbuilding where the shepherds would stay to be in the fields at night. And so it was kind of a tricked out sheep hut. And we got to in the morning go around with her and kind of take a tour of the sheep and check on the sheep with her. And she was the one that actually mentioned this peninsula and this stone circle to us.
Wow. How cool, man. I was going to ask you if she asked for any help tending to the sheep, and it sounds like she did. So that's a good host right there. Really let you live the life and step into her shoes for a couple of days, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the next morning we were leaving and she asked if we wanted to go around with her again, and we had to get on the road. But yeah, we kind of got to be part of the sheep scene there for a while.
I love it, man. That's awesome. What a great vacation. Thank you so much for sharing about it. We'll come back to you here towards the end of the segment, Matt, but that was awesome. Donut, I'm headed over to you, man. Thanks for being patient. Glad that we could make you laugh a little bit ago. We got you in stitches there. Amanda called out a little bit of a wheeze. That must mean we really hit you with that one.
There's two reasons for that. It caught me out of nowhere, and immediately my brain went Zoolander.
Yeah.
That was great. You Googleized it.
Oh my God.
Was the first thing that came into my head.
Me
so
too.
many good ones. So many good ones from that movie. But tell us about your summer vacation, Donut. How'd you spend it?
Well, I feel like to most of the listeners and most of you guys, my stuff's pretty boring. This summer, so I drive for 4 weeks, go home for a week. When I'm home, it's basic, it's normal everyday stuff. But this year has been a little different with the twins on the way.
Mm-hmm.
And so most of what I'm doing is trying to put some stuff together. Going to the appointments, which is great. I love seeing the ultrasounds and everything, and getting to watch those two little girls grow. And that's awesome. And otherwise, I'm basically spending time with the family at home, where we make a lot of our own like candies and stuff, and fruit leathers and beef jerky and stuff I bring on the truck. And then otherwise, I'm playing video games.
I get it. That's okay, man. So do you have any projects going surrounding the babies on the way? Like, you got a nursery or anything like that you're remodeling or anything?
Well, we're doing a lot of house hunting, trying to find something within my budget, which is, while it is considerable compared to most single income households, I still struggle a bit. But I am building. I have to refurbish some of the bookshelves we have at home to add doors.
Yeah.
So that we can close and lock them, because there's nothing quite like having potential toddlers eating a $200 book.
Exactly. So you are doing a little bit of baby proofing as the days go by.
Yeah, but my version of baby proofing is protecting the house from the babies.
Right. Not protecting the babies from the house, right? You're not putting pads on corners, but you're locking up valuables right now.
Yes. I get told that I should, and I look at the table, our coffee table, and I look at it, and I see the scars in the wood, and an edge that was snapped off at one point. And I'm just like, no, we're not doing that. It builds character. You see right there, that's where my teeth hit it when I tripped and fell, and that corner missing is where my uncle broke it off with his forehead, and that.
It's living history.
Right. And if you let it live through a couple more childhoods, we might actually neuter this table down to being safe around toddlers. We just got to knock a few of the hard edges off of it with our foreheads,
exactly.
And this thing will be safe.
Exactly.
I get it, man. I like that. It's like, you don't grab the kid's hand before he touches the oven. You let him touch the oven and learn the lesson. That's kind of is that the realm we're in here, Donut?
My dad had a particular method that to this day, if said in the right tone, will still get me to drop whatever is in my hand.
And it is?
I was little, and my dad was cooking on my grandma's gas stove. I was reaching up because that's a pretty blue light. My dad looked down at me and went, "Hey, Michael, that's hot." I looked up at him, and with my little voice, it went, "Hot." I keep reaching. "Michael, that's hot." Hot. I got my hand right next to it. Not close enough to actually hurt myself, but enough to feel that he instantly jerked my hand back, and he goes, "Michael, that's hot." Hot. Flash forward to I am 15 and reconnecting with him for the first time in 12 years. And we went out to eat, and I got one of those sizzle plates at the restaurant we went to.
Oh, God.
The waitress goes to hand it to me, and my dad goes, "Careful, that's hot." Immediately, my hands came out from under it. It slammed on the table. He looked at me, confused for a second, and then it dawned on him. He's like, "Still?"
Well, look, man, there's something to be said about having an instinct like that literally burned into your brain, right?
Literally, yeah. My poor little fingers.
So you talked about kind of the other things you're doing with the family. You got going to some of these doctor's appointments, checking out the ultrasounds. You're enjoying yourself there. I assume everybody's healthy still.
Oh, yeah.
We're still getting good reports.
Yeah, everything's going above average. What they actually expect for how small Kai is and how tall I am, and I've come from a bigger family. The children developing as well as they are is awesome. They're doing amazing. This whole thing is going really well.
That's
and they're
great.
looking at poor Kai. They're like, "They are a little big for you." And she's like, "Yeah, I'm aware. Look at that head. Look at that giant head. They definitely get that from you." She
And
looked
it's
at me and I went,
two.
"Yeah."
Yeah, look, both of them have giant heads, I'm
Right.
sure, right?
Yes, they definitely get that from my side of the family.
Well, that's
We're like-
great, man.
We're like, until we're like 7, we're like 2/3 head.
See, I'm just picturing you guys like 3 summers from now loading up in the camper and doing like family summer vacation together. Come on.
Yeah.
Well, we're definitely going to spend a lot more time up in South Dakota and down in Arkansas.
Well, I'll tell you, from the sounds of it, the bike helmet budget's going to be through the roof for these.
Hey, I still fit the helmet I had when I learned to ride my bike at 6.
Okay, well, that's good. That's good. So your body grew into your head is what you're saying.
Yes,
Okay.
that's exactly what I'm saying.
Have
Glad
you ever
to hear it,
seen
man.
So I Married an Axe Murderer? With
Yes, Mike Myers.
And there's that whole scene with his little brother, and they call him Head. It's like an orange on a toothpick.
Yeah.
And that family's Scottish. Look at that. We're tying it all together, you guys. Come on.
Full circle today. Full circle. I love it. Well, I'd be remiss as a gamer if I didn't ask you. Are you still holding down GTA 5 in the kind of the dawning of the GTA 6 era, or what video games have you been spending your time with when you get there, Donut?
I'm gonna be honest. I never left San Andreas and Vice City when it comes to GTA. I couldn't get into 5.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But I got the Assassin's Creed Black Flag resynced for my birthday, and the last week I was home, I spent like 3 straight days on that. I love Black Flag. It was my favorite the first time. I like some of the changes, hate some of the other ones. The combat's super different, but it's still fun.
That's great, man. I mean,
yeah,
I like a good revisit to what was a good game to begin with.
Oh yeah, and they changed how they do like the in between. You're not coming out. You're not walking around as a employee of Abstergo. They have this thing called the Dark Animus now. So you find these fragments and flaws, and you go through, and it tries to persuade you to take a different path than Kenway did, and you're also being warned by random ravens, digitalized ravens inside the fractured memory, telling you, don't trust that guy. It's wrong. They're trying to mind control you.
Interesting.
And they changed it up completely, and it's the same story with different stories in it.
Okay, interesting. Amanda, are you taking notes? There will be a quiz later.
I was just thinking, like, if I could get 1 or 2 of those ravens in my real life to warn me about some people and some things, I would be pretty happy.
Oh my.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be as cool as they make it in the video game. It would be one of those things where, like, anytime I'm supposed to avoid that guy, a raven would just, like, shit on my shoulder. And it's like, God damn it. I gotta go.
I just saw one trying to take my eye out. Like,
Rude.
I got attacked by a bird the other day. I'm not kidding you. So there's a nest. My band just found a new practice space, and it's this old koi pond. It's an old koi fish vendor, and so it's this house kind of out in the away from town, kind of rural area. It's got this big koi pond. There's all this nature around it, and there is a bird's nest with little baby birds. They look kind of like starlings right above the door. And I have these Oakley sunglasses, Amanda, that have kind of big blue lenses on them. And I walked up to and I think that they saw those sunglasses and were a little tripped out. And that mom, she flew right at my forehead. And if I was not carrying all sorts of towels and water jugs and everything like that, I barely moved, but she kind of turned as well. I think she hates me. I think I've got a bird fight in my future, unfortunately. God, the little chicks are cute, though. They're so tiny.
I think she just wants to audition for drummer, and that's the best way to take you out. So
yeah, probably just knock out an eye when I'm headed into practice. But I digress. There was no reason for me to tell that story about getting attacked by a bird. I do want to ask, though, if you got anything else going on, Donut, this summer, any other projects, anything like that?
So other than the bookshelves, we're still trying to decide whether or not we're gonna go buy a new couch or if I'm gonna just build one. I've never done it before, so it'll be interesting.
Yeah, building
it probably
a couch
won't be all that comfortable.
Yeah, I was gonna say that sounds kind of tough. Like, I don't even know how you'd go about starting to build a couch. I've never seen that happen, like on How It's Made or something like that.
It starts with just some basic wood framing. If I do it, it's not going to be like anything super pretty. I've got my eye on some walnut and some mahogany rounds that I saw at a raw wood dealer. That I could shape to be really, really nice. It's the upholstery that I'm a little iffy on. I haven't really. I've done a little bit with it. My grandpa and I used to refurbish antique chairs and antique rocking chairs and stuff. So I have some knowledge of it. That's kind of his family was leather workers and furniture builders in Ireland, and they brought that across with them.
Interesting.
On my mother's side, and then on my father's side, I'm not entirely sure exactly what we did in Scotland and Ireland. Family story says we descend from royalty, but I don't know how much I can believe that.
I'd take that and run with it. I'd be like, everybody that crossed me, I'd be like, you talk to royalty like that, you bitch? I would take it way too far. I would definitely own that. I'd walk around with a crown on.
Considering we got ran out by the crossbred Stuarts, I don't think I want to claim that too much.
Donut, I think one of your family members tarred and feathered one of my family members, actually. So we'll have to talk about this later.
Sorry?
Look up the Bronze Seer. Of course, I'm descendant of a wizard or a witch, naturally, right? I couldn't be descendant of like a princess because that would be cool, but no. But seriously, I really do think Donut's family member tarred and feathered my family member.
Huh.
Our previous family name was Dunnigan, and we're from moors or bogs, whether it's Ireland or Scotland. We live in wetland because the reputation of our family was mostly barbarians and savages.
Okay.
Well, it sounds like it if you were tar and feathering Amanda's great-great-grandmother.
Maybe just their mouths.
Well, that's...
I can't be blamed for that insanity. I'll take credit for my own.
No, the sins of our fathers, right? We are not guilty of the sins of our fathers. Great stuff.
At least we know that my unhingedness comes naturally.
Well, right. I mean... We're not guilty of the sins, but the apple still doesn't fall far from the tree, if you know what I mean. So we get that. We get that. But, well, good stuff here today, fellas. I think that actually, Amanda, I never got to ask you about your summer vacation. We've got a little bit of time here on the back end of the segment. And you sent me a picture. You were up. Where were you at? I forget because you're out there in Ohio,
ocean.
right?
Yeah, man. I had no idea how cool the North Coast was. Like literally, I grew up in Connecticut, but both my parents grew up in a suburb of Cleveland in Ohio. Okay, so for some reason, neither one of my parents ever told me how much Lake Erie just looks like the ocean. So we went up to just for a couple of days right before 4th of July, before everybody else got out there, to a town called Port Clinton. And we just stayed like right on the water, went into the lake, went into the pool. Husband and stepdaughter went and did the paddleboarding thing and then realized that it's actually an athletic activity and not a leisurely one. So they might not do that one again for a while.
Paddleboarding sucks.
Nobody told them.
It is the worst thing you could do. Like imagine if you had a kayak and instead of comfortably sitting in your kayak, you tried to balance on top of it and then paddle. It's the dumbest thing that you can do. And people that go out there without a life jacket, I'm going to stand on a soapbox here for a second. You're doing like marathon level core work in open water without a goddamn life jacket. I also have a motorcycle ride I'd like to take you on at 100 miles an hour without a helmet. So just let me know. Sorry, I have a thing about paddleboarders. Wakeboarders and paddleboarders don't get along, just in case you were wondering, Amanda. Paddleboarders tend to stand right in the middle of where I want to wakeboard.
I see that.
Really pisses me off, so sorry.
Sure. Well, you know what? You saved me, actually, from the paddleboarding, because while they were paddleboarding, I was at the library talking to you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, you are welcome. But that sounds like a really fun time, though. Sounds like there was a lot of activity.
It was fun.
I've never been to the Great Lakes, but from what everybody that has seen them tells me is, yeah, it's like you don't feel like you're standing on a lake. You
No.
feel like you're standing on an ocean.
Yeah, and beaches are sandy. I mean, some of them are muddy, but a lot of them are sandy. We went to one beach where we were able to walk out probably to be honest with you, a quarter mile where the water was still just to our knees, but that's because we had just had that extreme heat after quite a long time with no rain. So it was like a really cool time to be at the water. The cool thing about Lake Erie is you never see the same lake twice. So it's really an awesome experience to go check it out. And I'm such a nature girly. Like I would rather be by a river, like in some water outside somewhere. So I will say we do have a trip planned for the end of the summer, and I'm super nervous. It's literally a one-night trip. My dad and my stepmom are both retired now. And my dad has to say that like every 5 seconds of every conversation he has with everyone. All the time, like I'm retired. So they keep going to Myrtle Beach. So the third time this summer, they're going at the end of September, and my husband and I are going down there for one night, just one night to stay with them, like just a weekend night, pretty much. So my dad can like take us to dinner, we can go to the beach, and we'll come back. But obviously, Uncle Traveling Matt and Donut don't know this, but you know this, Marcus, that my husband and my dad really just kind of met each other like within the last month.
Yeah.
So this is going to be very interesting to see how that plays out. You're talking about staying under the same roof with somebody, so we're going to see what happens. I think a bromance is going to bud. That's what I think is going to happen.
It sounds like the beginnings of one for sure. I mean, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, is there a better place for a bromance to happen?
Right?
Because that's
Seriously.
a big golf destination. A lot of guys go on golf trips out there to Myrtle Beach, so I don't know if your dad or your husband are big golfers, but you
my
put a
dad
club
is.
in their hand in South Carolina, that's a match made in heaven.
You want to talk about an awkward conversation? During that dinner where my husband and my dad pretty much first met about a month ago, my dad was explaining to us what he wants us to do with his ashes when he dies, because everybody wants to, at dinner, talk about, funeral plans. That's totally normal. But my dad, he's like, I picked 12 golf courses that are my favorite golf courses of all time, and I want you guys to take my ashes to these 12 different courses and let some go. So I'm pretty sure there's one there in South Carolina. I know he's a huge fan of a golf course in Arizona. So I'm going to have like quite a bit of traveling to do. Let's hope that doesn't happen for a very, 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 very long time.
Yeah, but little world tour that you get to go on there in the aftermath of that, which obviously not something we want to think about. But
man, I'm going to mess up some golf carts. I can't wait. It's going to be awesome. I've twisted an ankle or two jumping off a golf cart too soon. So
yeah, haven't we all? Well, that's great. I have to go back. The city that you were in at Lake Erie, did that have the word pork in the name?
No, port, as in like a port of sea. The one cool thing about the North Coast is anywhere that there is a port where people can pull in, it always says welcome to the United States, because if you're pulling back in, you're probably coming over from Canada.
Interesting. I didn't think about that.
It's just a cool little thing to have there, because you don't really think about it. You get to Detroit, follow that lake line all the way up and around, you get to Detroit, and all of a sudden you see that bridge over to Canada, and then you're like, oh yeah, it's right there. But yeah,
why would we want to go over there? Right? No, I also have
coffee crisp candy.
Okay, I guess. Okay,
Female
I'll
bacon.
give you that. I got some thoughts about Canada, but that's a different
Roots,
episode. So.
I mean, I'm sorry.
That's okay. We can take this thing on a hard left turn, but I think I'm going to stop myself from doing that. Awesome. Well, I'm glad you got to have a little bit of some time, and you didn't have to deal with the influx of traffic that would have been the 4th of July. It sounds like you got out there independent of that, which is great. But Donut and Uncle Traveling Matt, I really appreciate you guys coming on and joining us. Matt, I want to ask you, because the last time you came on after you went to Scotland and shared pictures with us, I think that you had either already planned or were in the planning phases of your trip to Spain. You kind of knew that one was on the horizon. You've just touched back down here in the mainland. You haven't been back for very long. Do you have another trip scheduled in the future, or maybe for next summer at this point?
Nothing official scheduled. Next month, my daughter will be starting grad school in downtown Chicago, so I'm slated to go help her drive the moving truck into downtown Chicago. These are the things that happen when you're a truck driver. Plus, I lived in Chicago for 15 years, so I am kind of
cool.
familiar. So that'll be something in the near future. But yeah, still. Actually, yes, I do have a trip planned. Can't believe I forgot about this. So next May, there is a cruise line. Like, I've never been a fan of the idea of a cruise, and I've been to Alaska, and I rented an RV with my daughter, and we drove all around the place. But I want to see Southeast Alaska, and you pretty much have to do that by boat.
Yeah.
Well, there is a company called Uncruise, like UN Uncruise, that is small ships. So it's not your typical like Disney cruise bonanza, which I would pretty much throw myself over the side of the boat on day 2 if that was my situation. So I have booked for my daughter and I kind of a graduation present to go on that next May. And there's only like 60 people on a boat, and since it's a smaller boat, they can get up close to the wildlife and the glaciers, and the boat has like kayaks and all that kind of stuff and guides on it. All your meals are included, which are gourmet. And so, yeah, you can just hop off and go kayaking and hiking and all this other kind of stuff. So that is in the works for next year. Probably the most expensive thing I've ever spent money on, but this is why I'm homeless and live in my truck.
Hell
So I
yeah.
can spend money on things like this.
There you
There
go.
you go, man. You're going to see some amazing stuff up there on that cruise. I just recently, there was a landslide up in one of the fjords up there I believe it was Southeast Alaska. And it was a fjord that went way inland, okay? And it actually typically was one that some of these cruise boats would go up, and they showed like a digital recreation of this. Basically what happened was right at the end of the fjord, just a huge landslide fell in off the side of the mountain, and 300 yards up on the bank, all the way down the fjord, all the way back out into the ocean, basically like a tunnel tsunami just lawn mowed 300 yards of dense Alaskan wilderness. I mean, massive trees that this thing was just wiping out. And it happened, there was no boats in the area that day. Everything was fine. The USGS didn't really have any idea that it was going to happen. But the tsunami that it caused was felt all the way over in Asia. It was just totally, I guess it had run out of steam by the time it got there. But just one little landslide in one of those things and the amount of destruction it caused. If you see that one, if you get up there next year and you can take a picture for me up close, I would love to see the destruction that nature caused in that instance, because I watched like a 40-minute YouTube video on it, Matt. I was glued to the TV.
I have a request a step
Gotcha.
further, more than a photo. I want to know if it smells like the lumber section of Home Depot when that happens. That's what I want to know.
Oh, and they shred the trees. Yeah, it sounds like a bad time to be on a kayak or a paddleboard for that matter. as
Yeah,
well.
for sure.
Yeah. I mean, unless your bucket list for the end of life is to surf a tsunami to certain doom, then yeah, it's not where you wanted to be that day. But Mother Nature's amazing, a very powerful creature here. And in Alaska is where you're going to see some of the wildest stuff that you've ever seen. I mean, that's a place that, especially that part of Alaska, Matt, that is, that's not really a tourist destination as much as you got to do some traveling to get down there.
Yeah, like Juneau is the state capital, and it's the only state capital that you can't drive to. There's no roads that'll take you there. You got to come by boat or plane to get there. So yeah, it's a pretty interesting place from what I understand.
That's
It's like they
gonna be
did it
awesome.
on purpose to go, nah, 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 nah.
Yeah,
You
right.
know?
Like,
Yes.
how do you feel
One day
about?
I'll live some.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
it's like they thumbed their nose at the contiguous United States and we're like, you guys want to see something cool? Watch this. You can't even get to our capital. Like, sorry, we're just
Oh,
keeping
where
it away
all of
from
our
you.
business happens for our state? Oh,
Great stuff. Well, Matt, I'm really looking forward to seeing some of the pictures that are going to come out of that trip. Donut, I'm going to field the same question to you, my friend. I know that you've got a couple of kids on the way, so I have to guess that you probably don't have any big extravagant vacations planned coming up. You're battening down the hatches at home and trying to make sure that everything's ready for the storm of twins, right?
Yeah, that's a big part of it. Although for the ladies' birthdays in September, they want to go up to South Dakota. They want to do the reptile gardens and bear country thing
Oh, that'll be cool.
in September. Yeah, I'm excited. I love wildlife and all that stuff. Megan and Kai are both super interested in like reptiles, and the last time I was out there, there was this little tutorial on how to wrestle an alligator, which was pretty cool to watch.
Not
And
a
will
lot of
definitely
alligators.
come
Well, I
in
guess at the
handy.
reptile garden.
Yeah, I was gonna say South Dakota's not known for them, but I guess if they're gonna put them behind fences, there, they'll probably stick around.
He's training for fatherhood,
Yeah,
you
they're-
guys.
Okay, I get it.
But yeah, it's nothing like watching people do it in the wild in like Louisiana, which was something I saw once.
Yeah, those
It's,
guys down there, we went to a gator farm in Louisiana and one in Florida, and they're just what I would call far too comfortable with that animal. I don't even
Just a Tuesday.
I don't even give my corgis treats with the same relaxation that these guys throw marshmallows into alligator mouths. Like, I don't understand. But I have held one. I got to hold like a 3.5 foot long gator. It had its mouth taped shut. Otherwise, I wouldn't even been in the same room with the thing. Boy, I almost slipped there because
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
Amanda just saw me self-edit in a way that I haven't in a while. I almost threw my back out on
That
that
was
one, guys.
impressive. Yeah.
Gonna need a massage after that one. Oh, all right, fellas. Well, look, we'll get to final thoughts here today. I really appreciate you guys coming on and joining us. A little bit of a fun episode here, kind of all over the place, but that's what we like to do here on the Liquid Trucking Podcast. You just don't know what you're in store for. Uncle Traveling Matt McKellar, thank you so much for telling us about not only the vacations past, but the ones upcoming, man. Final thoughts from you before we let you go today.
I will just share one last quick memory from my Ireland trip, and that was when I was staying at the Sheep Shack. Out back, it was like a giant barrel that was a wood-fired hot tub, and the proprietor asked if I was interested, and I said yes. So I definitely spent an evening soaking in a giant barrel while looking out at a sheep farm. So that's a memory I'll hold on to for a while.
That
Heck
is
And the weather
yeah.
was kind of cold. Yeah, the weather was kind of cold when we were there, so it felt pretty good.
That is amazing. I don't know why, and probably only because I know that was a one-person barrel, right? That probably wasn't like room for multiple. That was like your barrel, and if anybody else got into it, kind of weird.
Maybe two very skinny and or friendly people, but
Yeah,
yeah, basically
right.
one person.
Well, I don't know if you guys have seen this video. It's made its way viral years ago, but it's a guy during a heat wave, and I think he's in England, but he's in a garbage can that he's filled up with his hose, like a big plastic garbage can, and a guy's like, "What are you doing taking a bath in a garbage can?" And he looks at him with the most indignant face, and he goes, "Listen, mate, nobody's going to tell me on the worst heat wave of the year that I can't take a bath in my bin." And it just, I imagine for some reason that being Uncle Traveling Matt saying, nobody's going to tell me on my Irish vacation that I can't take a bath in a barrel
That's
and
right.
watch the sheep. Great stuff, Matt.
That's right. You gotta blend in with the locals, you know.
That's
There
right.
you go. Awesome stuff. Matt, always appreciate the time, man. You be safe out there. And of course, you're welcome back here anytime, my friend.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
No problem. Donut, final thoughts from you on today's How I Spent My Summer Vacation episode, my friend.
I don't know. Like, I can't top that. Matt's a world traveler. It's fine. You like to travel. I think the world is far too people-y. I like to keep it
Not a lot of
with the
people at the
family.
sheep farm.
Right.
That's why you're headed to South Dakota, of all places, to go see bears and reptiles. South Dakota's great for bears. I up until today did not think it was great for reptiles, but it sounds like they got a spot.
Yeah, the reptile gardens is awesome. I've been a few times and I've loved every time I've been there. We thought about trying to do like do the monuments like Mount Rushmore and Crazy Horse, and both of the ladies just looked at me and went, no. they went up there once with my mom, and that several times with my mom, and that's all she does is she likes to go to Crazy Horse and Mount Rushmore. And Megan spent a good bit of her adult life in South Dakota.
Oh, okay.
It's like, yeah, if you live near the Twin Cities in Minnesota, and people are like, I want to see the Mall of America, you go, no, absolutely not.
Right. That's one of those things. It's like once you've seen it, you've seen it, and Mount Rushmore's not changing anytime soon.
Yeah, it's Tuesday mall cruising. Like we were out there all the time. It's not that big a deal when I lived in Minnesota.
Copy.
And
well, let me ask you this for your final thoughts then, because since you made the pregnancy announcement here on the show, we've talked to you a couple of times since. Let me ask you this: scale of 1 to 10, 1 being everything's fine, 10 being I'm totally terrified. Where are you at right now, knowing that you've got twins on the way? 1 through 10 on the I'm terrified or not scale. How are you feeling right now on what day are we recording this on? July 22nd.
I don't know if it's the tism or whatever, but half of my brain's at a solid 2, the other half is at a 15.
Okay, so we're averaging out at about a 7.5, 8.5, which is good. That's okay.
It's for me. It's the money thing. Everything else, I spent before I did this. I spent a lot of my time doing caregiving work. A decade with people with developmental disabilities, about 5 years doing home health care.
Mm-hmm.
I was a nanny for 2 years. I helped raise myself, my sister. I've helped with a lot of my cousins. I've helped raise other people's kids, taking on the dad figure role. Being a father's different, as in I'm actually responsible for these two existing. So. But I don't know. I'm equal parts excited and nervous. Just probably the normal parent nerves of can I do this right? How bad am I going to screw up my kids? I know they're going to be unhinged. That's for darn sure. But we've looked at a lot of the first step kind of stuff. We did a lot of the genetic testing and came with low risk of chromosomal abnormalities. She's not a carrier for the majority of the rarer recessive, so I didn't have to get tested for that. And it's two healthy girls. Me being a girl dad, it's going to be interesting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but it'll be fun.
We're already ordering princess dresses in my size.
Perfect, man. Well, we'll keep up with you for sure as the time moves on and those two little girls get closer to meeting you in real life, man. I'm looking forward to it. Can't thank you enough for sharing with us today. Michael Donut Duncan and Uncle Traveling Matt McKellar, you guys be safe out there on the road. Enjoy the rest of your summers, and we'll get you guys back in here soon. All right, fellas?
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
You got any advice for Donut, Amanda? I mean, he is like right on the cusp of not having just one newborn, but two around. And, you're a mother yourself. So I wonder, like, what did you go through in these waning moments of your pregnancies? It's probably different for a mom than a dad, too, because you're dealing with the physical aspect of it as well.
I have a different type of advice than the, immediate, here's what you do with newborns kind of advice, because I'm in an interesting position right now. Last week, I delivered a desk to the new apartment of my son and his girlfriend. So,
I thought you were going to say last week I delivered a baby, and I've got a totally different take on babies now. I really thought that's where we were going.
Yeah, I was on the subway, and no, I'm just
Right.
kidding. No, so my son is my youngest. That's my baby, and he's kind of gone back and forth between my house and his dad's house since he turned 18, but hasn't like fully launched. You know what I mean? And at the beginning of July, he got his first place with his girlfriend. And I went over there with my husband to drop off a desk. We bought a desk for his girlfriend to match my son's. Apparently, they're each going to have their gaming system set up like together. Super
Sweet.
cute
Love
and
it.
adorable. So, and they adopted a cat and all this stuff. So, I'm starting to get in my feels. And I literally am like, okay, I have to go, and like made my husband leave with me because I am trying so hard not to cry. It goes so fast. And this is what I have to say to Donut. People say this all the time, and I literally took it with a grain of salt, but it's so true. They say the days are long and the years are short. And when you are stressed out and you just changed this one's diaper and now that one needs a change, and you're losing your mind about money and bills and things like that, the kids are not going to remember. They're not going to remember how much money you had. They're not going to remember what you bought them. They're going to remember the time that they had with you. And you are going to wish for as much of that time as you can when it is no longer available. So enjoy those babies. Enjoy it. Enjoy them as littles, as little bigs, as bigs. Just enjoy all of that time, because before you know it, it's over.
Yep, and you only get so much time when the one on the left throws up on you and the one on the right is actively filling a diaper at the same time. Like, that's only just a short stretch, so enjoy it. If you can find it in yourself to enjoy those moments, enjoy them. But I think all joking aside, I think there's some really good advice in what you said, and I think that as I get older, even though I don't have kids, I can tell you that just being an adult, the days are long, but the years are short. That's for sure. Like, I can't. We talk about COVID. Everybody, COVID's kind of that set in stone time frame. Everybody remembers what they were doing. That was 6 goddamn years ago. And
right?
We talk about it like it was yesterday. And, that if there's no better example, man, COVID is over half a decade ago. That doesn't sound real to me, Amanda. So and that's, you talk about that. Let's say you had a kid in 2020. That kid's already past kindergarten at this point in time. That's wild.
That is crazy. It's also strange to think your concept of time changes as you get older because you experience more of it. So when you're young, a week is like forever.
Oh, God, forever.
And now we're old and we're like 5 years ago. What? That was last week. What are you talking about? It's weird. It's weird.
Wild. I mean,
Human
we talked
experience.
about it. We talked about it there with Uncle Traveling Matt a little bit. Like, I couldn't believe it'd been 2 years since he went to Scotland and sent us all those awesome pictures that he did. And speaking of which, Amanda, I'm so happy because Matt texts me quite a bit, and he's not shy about sending awesome pictures that he takes. Here he is in his barrel.
Look at him.
Yep. Those of you that cannot see that, of course, that's all of you, since this is an audio medium. But we'll see if we can't get those pictures up on the website, or if Matt's okay with us putting them up on the website. It is him hanging out in a barrel, so we'll have to make sure that he's okay with that. But this is a fun episode for that reason. We got to hear about Matt's really cool trip to Ireland. Donut, he didn't do much as far as vacationing, but that wasn't the whole point. We were thinking how you spent your summer vacation here, and he spent some pretty significant time baby-proofing the house. Yeah, it's definitely baby-proofing the house, because the house is now baby-proof. It is not house-proofing the baby.
For the babies? I guess that's what it would be, house-proofing for the babies, yeah.
Right. He made his house so that it's not going to be damaged by the babies. Now we have to work on the flip side of that coin to make sure that everybody gets out of toddlerhood unscathed. But he's working on it, locking up the valuables, battening down the hatches, and, of course, playing some vids, man. I love it. I don't have a lot going on, actually, for the rest of summer. I am headed home tomorrow back to the other side of the state. Beautiful mountain lake. We're going to spend some time on it and everything, Amanda. But there's a big fire right on the border of Washington and Oregon that's only about 60 or 70 miles from where my parents' house is. So while I'm really excited to get over there, I'm not going to have all the picturesque views because they're totally socked in with wildfire smoke right now. So a little bit of a bummer. Really had a great time when I went to Vegas, but other than that, I've been kind of staycation boy this summer. I've golfed a lot. And that's about it. That short little 4-day trip to Vegas, short little 4-day trip home. That's all for me this summer. Got an elk hunt coming up in, I believe, late September, maybe early October. But again, that's just a couple of days. So I'm kind of the, I don't know. I guess I'm the black sheep here. I don't really have anything exciting to talk about. I mean, if you want me to tell you what kind of jokes we were cracking at the craps table in Vegas, I can. But it's all going to get cut out. So, There's not much for me to talk about. I kind of took a back seat on today's show, and be honest with you, it's kind of nice.
I think now that I am empty nesting, now that the kids are all out of the house, I don't have, games or extracurricular plays, things that I have to be at. My husband and I try to do what we would be doing if we were on vacation. And because we are nature people, it means being outside, being on trails. I live literally a stone's throw from a national park. So I spend as much time as humanly possible on those trails, in those parks, on the Cuyahoga River, just soaking it all in as much as I can. I don't want to be in Ohio forever. Let's be for real. Northeast Ohio winters are horrid. So I want to move somewhere where my bones don't hurt for 4 months every year. Eventually, someday. So my thing is, for now, I need to enjoy all this beauty while I've got it outside my back door. So you know what? Staycation for at least the next couple of years. I would have no problem with that.
Okay, so quick question here. California, New Mexico, Arizona, Texas, Alabama, Louisiana, Georgia, Florida. Which one?
We've actually been looking from the Panhandle over to, what's first? Alabama, then Louisiana. So, yeah, we've kind of been peeking at all of that shore. Also, you can still actually get, like, a house on a decent amount of land for, a really affordable price. Maybe it would take you 45 minutes or so to get to the ocean, but I'm down with that. If I don't have to see people all the time, I think I'm with the donut there. I don't need to people so much now that I'm older. I'd rather be a little more solitary, but yeah. Why? Do you have a suggestion? People are telling me not Florida, but I don't see the problem. I think I fit in well in the areas that they're telling me I wouldn't like. So.
Yeah, I mean, Florida's great. I've been down there a few times. I've always enjoyed my time in Florida. Have you considered a move back to the great state of Oregon where our winters aren't as bad, but you can spend $750,000 on a 1-bedroom, 1-bath apartment? Have you thought about that? I mean, we've got everything that you want here. High taxes, wildfires, property values that are just up their own ass for days.
Sounds enticing. It definitely does.
Come on back to Klamath Falls.
Dude, I am one of those people that got stuck on top of the mountain trying to pass through to go to Medford. So I don't think I want to mess with any of that ever again in my life. The other thing is my daughter that's out there about an hour from Seattle. She's always trying to get me to move out there. I don't see it. I want to live on the beach that was in the movie Sweet Home Alabama, and that's all that I want. I want to see lightning strike the sand, and I want to dig out the glass, and I just want to recreate a rom-com with my life. It's cool. It's fine. It's going to be all right. I'm writing a script right now.
You can't do that in Oregon unless you're falling in love with a logger. It's just not, you can't do it, so, and loggers are few and far between. We don't even have loggers in Oregon anymore. We just call them firefighters now because that's all they do. Just fight fire. But that was kind of a bummer of a thing to say as we end the episode. I'm sorry.
We got to bring you back up. Seriously. Yeah, man. What the heck?
Sweet Home Alabama and lightning on the sand that makes glass. That's kind of cool.
There you go. Yeah, but now you got me thinking about that I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay song. Everybody needs a flannel and then coordinated dance. We're going to start working on that. Our rom-com will take place in Oregon now. Thanks a lot.
And something that we can connect back to the trucking industry, steel-toed boots if you're here in Oregon and you're going to be wearing flannel. If you don't pair your flannel with steel-toed boots, what are you even doing?
My husband has the boots. He has the flannel. I did, however, make him shave his beard earlier in the week. So he'll grow that back and then we'll be on our way. Even
though this is going to make the episode run longer, why? Why did you make him shave his beard? Because I've got, the Jake Debo. We know Jake and love Jake on this podcast.
That beautiful mustache.
He had to shave his beard for his wedding, which is still one of those things that, like, I had a chin strap for my wedding and I wasn't shaving it. Yeah, I wasn't shaving it. So why did you make your poor husband shave his fantastic beard?
So the funny thing is my husband is actually a master barber and he is very skilled with a straight razor. The problem is he is a perfectionist, especially when it comes to his own face. So he will spend a solid, like, I'm not exaggerating when I say like 2 hours in the bathroom just trying to line this up here at the cheeks, right? The problem is he's got this cute little chubby cheek face a little bit that if he does the line too curved, I just don't like it. And I think I razzed him too hard and then, yeah, he was off shaving it off, and which, is fine. It's just I'm already quite a bit older than him. So when he shaves all of that off, it's like, okay, now I look like I'm your babysitter. Like, go ahead and let it grow back out.
Well, I can relate because I feel like I look exactly my age, maybe a little bit younger if I'm lucky with the beard. If I shave the beard off, I turn into a 13-year-old fat kid, and it ain't pretty. I mean, it's weird. Like, I didn't like it the last time. So my wife kind of understands that even if she grows so fed up with the beard, it ain't going anywhere. I hate to say it. Like, it's just part of me now. Sort of
The
part of
nice
my
thing
personality.
is, like, I think it's been 2 days. By tomorrow, it'll be back. It grows
Okay,
so
so
fast.
he's a quick study. I like
Oh,
it.
yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Good on him. Well, I totally understand chasing the lines down the face. I get that. My barber tells me don't do it because as not a professional, you will never stop chasing the line down your face until you shave it too far. So he said the minute you feel like you're trying to even them out, stop and book an appointment with me.
Yes. Yes.
So, I get that, but cool. Well, listen, this has been a fun episode. Few rabbit holes, just like we said. Had to figure out why there was some possible beard abuse, but I don't think there was in this case. I think Amanda's innocent of it, while maybe a culprit in the end. At least that beard will come back, so we won't be without him for long in the ranks of the bearded, which it's very strong ranks here, the ranks of the bearded on the Liquid Trucking Podcast, Amanda. I know you know that.
Yes, I do.
We're going to get out of here today because what are we even talking about at this point? I mean, this one was off the rails a half an hour ago. But it's been fun, as always. We appreciate you guys tuning in and listening. Make sure to check out next week's episode. Of course, we've got a lot of exciting stuff planned for you as fall creeps in and summer starts to put itself to bed. We'll get into some football talk. We'll get into some hunting talk. It's all coming up in the future right here on the Liquid Trucking Podcast. We'll see you guys all next week, Wednesday, 5 a.m. local time, for a new hour of content. Hear from us at the LTP. Stay safe out there, drivers. Keep the shiny side up. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for tuning in and being the gold standard of drivers on the road. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel and tune in next week for another episode of the Liquid Trucking Podcast.
Interested in finding out more about what it takes to bring a podcast like the Liquid Trucking Podcast to your fleet? Bulldog provides tailor-made top-to-bottom podcast production services. We'll meet your terminal staff, connect with your drivers, and bring you the content you want your drivers to hear. Type bulldog.works into your browser to connect with us and learn more about what we can do for your fleet. That's bulldog.works for podcasts, tenacious recruiting, and more.